I've decided that this manga is so good and so right up my alley, I'm going to be reviewing every volume. Hello everyone, welcome to the Anime Void. I'm Brian, your host, and today I am once again talking about the 100 girlfriends who really like you. Like I just said, I am so very much enamored with this series that I'm going to be reading and reviewing every volume as they come out in English. Granted, I am too behind on that right now, and I can't necessarily guarantee it'll be exactly like the release day they come out, but I'm going to try and get close, and point is, I'm going to be reviewing everything. So now we're talking about Volume 2. So we pick up where we left off, with Rentaro working on trying to find all 100 of his soulmates, and save their lives by dating them, because if he was to ever reject their feelings, they would die horrible deaths. And it is this volume that kind of made me realize that, oh my god, we are actually going to have 100 tropes! Because, like I explained in the last video, we have the innocent-seeming, but actually extremely horny girl, the tomboyish tsundere, and the mousy girl who has a hard time talking and communicating. Now, while Karane is the most simple to explain, we can all recognize these tropes. And then we are introduced to two more tropes here. First, we have AI, and that is spelled E-I-A-I. It's pronounced AI because her trope is basically kudere. She comes off as completely cold and walled off and emotionless. She acts more like a robot than a person. Think Nagato from The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. She is all about efficiency. Nothing else matters until she locks eyes with Rentaro. And so his goal to get her to date him is basically to show her that there are things that are more important than statistics. That even if something has no monetary or physical value that can be measured and quantified, that doesn't mean it's meaningless. So, he takes her out to an amusement park date, and she makes fond memories that she doesn't want to lose, even though they have no value outside of just being meaningful to her. And it's also here, when she's introduced to the harem and is brought on board, that we get to the point where no one questions this anymore. I can see that going on for a while, and then be really funny when it finally gets brought up again. Like, I can see 10 volumes from now, I'm gonna forget that this is an issue with some people, and it's gonna pop up again, and it's like, oh, right! This is weird. The next girl introduced and brought into the harem is Kasuri. And she's a thing. So she's like the mad scientist who does medicines that are really just potions. And so most of her role is to create shenanigans with her concoctions. But there are two extra quirks to her. First is that she made a medicine that was meant to be immortality, but ended up just almost permanently regressing her to that of a child. Which brings up so many questions that I'm not going to bother with right now, because I don't have hours to list them all. But she can temporarily revert to her actual age of an 18-year-old by drinking some reversing medicine. So of course, that alone brings up some questionable stuff, since a lot of the time, she's a little girl. And it's not like Shizuka, who is just tiny. She's actually just legitimately like a middle schooler. That's weird. And I don't want to talk about the diaper thing too much, because that just makes me wildly uncomfortable. Like, logically, I understand why she does it, because she just gets so engrossed in what she's doing. But there was no need to add that into the manga. I did not want to read that. But the other quirk that I actually wanted to talk about is that she speaks in broken English. Well, more accurately, it's translated into broken English. And normally this is reserved for, like, foreigner characters. Like, if she was, like, from India or something, freshly immigrated to Japan. That I can see. Still not really a cool thing to do, but I can see it. But here, she seems to be completely Japanese. So why does she talk like this? And I can only guess that it's because of the meth. because she does meth. Or at least she did it once, but also, like Rentaro says, not even once. And that is your public service announcements for today. Don't do meth. Listen to the titty comics. But overall, this second volume does cover all the things I loved about the first one. The thing that really hooked me in, the shenanigans, the fun situations, the fourth wall breaking that is done pretty damn well throughout. And with more girls, more shenanigans happen, and it's so much fun. I cracked up laughing so many times reading this volume alone. And being 2 volumes in, I think I should start keeping a counter of who's my favorite girl so far. I think it would just be a nice little thing to keep track of, volume by volume, see how my thoughts and opinions change. So far, my favorite is Shizuka. She is painfully adorable. She's so tiny and cute, and her talking through the text on her app, I love that, because sometimes she can just say the kind of weird things, but they make sense. Shizuka-chan, why are you spinning around? She's so adorable.
The reason he loves me, I only know that there is no escaping this fate.
It's like the old-timey speech coming from like a robot tablet. I can't wait to see that being like translated into an anime, cause I think that would just accentuate the moment so much more. I can picture it pretty damn good in my head, like how it sounds, but seeing it and actually hearing it would be amazing. She's just so cute.
Kiss. Kiss.
Oh god, if this does become an anime, it's gonna be a gold mine. That's 100 waifus to collect. But this manga also ends with a cliffhanger. At the very last page, Hikari asks Rentaro to break up with her. And that's where the manga ends, outside of a very touchy-feely bonus chapter. So I need to go read the 3rd volume right now, just so I can see what happens. And you can see my thoughts on the 3rd volume tomorrow. Since I am behind, I did want to get these out right away, but I also did want to stagger them a bit. So you get volume 2 today, volume 3 tomorrow, and hopefully soon after volume 4 when I get that volume. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you want to follow along with me as I give my thoughts on each volume, you should subscribe to the channel to make sure they pop up in your feed, and also hit that bell icon so that you're notified about it. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time in the void. Later.